You know what's funny? Today I did something different. Yeah, you heard it right. Remember I told you about wanting to learn more about our culture, our traditions? So I went to the Gwanghwamun Lantern Festival in Seoul. Oh man, it was spectacular. I've never seen such vibrant colors and artistry before. It's kind of like stirring a burst of color into a bland dish. You can look at it starry-eyed for hours. Walking around, immersed in such rich Korean heritage was indeed something. Really made me think about how these traditions could deeply influence my creativity as a cook. So, while I was there, I started brainstorming ways to incorporate traditional Korean elements into our ubiquitous Italian dishes. I can almost see Juwon's eyebrows shooting up to his hairline hearing this. And you know what? I came up with the craziest idea for a dish. Guess what ingredient I thought of using? A giant squid. Yeah, Yuna saw one while diving today and suggested it. Isn't it unconventional? But imagine the texture of the squid, cooked perfectly, with some spicy Korean sauce in a spaghetti dish. I know, sounds insane. But it's food, right? We can explore and go crazy. So that's the plan for our next crazy culinary adventure. Pasta alla Gwanghwamun, as Juwon is already calling it. Oh, and look at this, we've got a movie night planned too. Have you heard about this new sci-fi movie Lunar Echo? Yeah, they say it's out of this world. We plan to watch it together. You should join us too. I think it will be interesting to see another creation from a totally different perspective. Speaking of creations, Yuna was wondering today why pizza boxes are square. A bit random, right? But she came up with a theory, wants to investigate how the shape of a pizza box affects the pizza of all things. I swear the things we get up to when left alone with our thoughts. Anyhow, said that square ones are easier to manufacture, and she seemed to accept that. So many plans, so much randomness, and a day spent appreciating traditional arts. Not bad, huh? You know what's wild, mate? Today wasn't about doughs and sauces, it was all about bouldering, but not the kind you're thinking. Virtual bouldering. Yes, you heard right. Have you ever heard of bouldering simulation games? Trust me, it's as wild as it sounds, almost like the real thing, but a lot less tiring and certainly a lot less sweaty. It feels like simmering a sauce on a stove. You feel the heat, but you're not really getting burnt, know what I mean? This game Climax that I tried was so immersive. It felt like climbing a giant pizza dough wall without the sticky mess. Juwon and Yuna are already on board for this. Maybe you should give it a try too. Stuff like this keeps the mind sharp during off days, you know? Speaking of Juwon, he just had the best Hyderabad biryani today and it got us all craving, so we decided to meet for some biryani feast soon. But knowing me, the pizza and spaghetti lover, I probably won't resist sneaking in some garlic bread and tiramisu there. Oh, and you won't believe this nutty thing Yuna came up with today, how the shape of a pizza box could affect the pizza itself. It sounds so wild, but she got an answer without needing to dive into an investigation. Turned out, square boxes are easier to manufacture. Oh well, just another day of realizations and wonders, isn't it? Did you ever have one of those days when you feel like you're walking on another planet? Well, that was how today was for me. But instead of walking, I was actually swimming, underwater. I know, crazy, right? You won't believe the amount of marine life I got to document with my underwater camera today. It was like watching a live TV show from the Nature Channel, only that I was in the TV with the clownfish and an octopus, while contributing to the divers' community. Isn't it amazing how colorful and diverse marine life is? It's like a hidden world from our own world. So quiet, peaceful, and strangely humbling. You know who else seems to enjoy the deep-sea life? Yuna. She even wants to swim with sharks. Imagine the thrill of it. Kind of like basting a hot palm-sized dough ball on an open flame knowing it might blow up any moment. Oh man, I'd love to see her do it someday. Now speaking of food, Yuna, Juwon, and I are planning a biryani expedition. Trust me, nothing beats the meaty, spicy aroma of a fresh biryani. Scrumptious. Then, We're thinking of heading to a new Italian place in Gangnam. It's supposed to have an outstanding pizza Napoli. Yum. On top of all this, we've even squeezed in a little bouldery. How do we manage it? I don't know, but it sure isn't a piece of cake. Oh Christ, I've got food on my brain again. Speaking of brains, let me veer off the food talk. Yuna popped the most random question today. How does the shape of a pizza box affect the pizza? Sounds nuts at first, but she reasoned that square boxes are easier to manufacture. Suddenly, it didn't sound that nutty at all. Well, that wraps up my day. From diving deep to dreaming up new food escapades to random ramblings about pizza boxes.